Hi, everyone. Mitch from Pick Dogs here with Big Al and Jay Briggs. A full football season of doing preview shows with you guys from week 1 all the way through to this week. Super Bowl Sunday. We're not just jumping on at the last second. I don't think in NFL anyone does that. They just do that in March Madness. But anyways, in the NFL, we have run the table. We've run the emotions have run through. We've had teams that, we were on them, we're off them, we're on them. And here we go, to the finals and the Super Bowl. Not a big surprise from what we saw for the bulk of the season. Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs and Philadelphia Eagles, both number 1 seeds in their conference heading into the playoffs. Whether they were the best teams overall really doesn't matter. I mean, that's really, these are the teams that are there. You look at that, how the Chiefs got there is kind of, Bush League. And then, then they, of course, let's go to the State Farm post-game report, who's the State Farm guy. I don't know, kind of hokey, but it is what it is. It's not the first time we've ever seen anything like that either. So we're used to it at this point. They know we'll believe it. So, the Eagles, Jalen Hurts missed a good chunk of the season. He's back, and Eagles have looked pretty good in the postseason. I mean, they hit the 49ers hard. It's hard to say what would have happened. Well, once again, another game where it's like you don't know what happened, but we saw what did happen, and regardless of who played quarterback, they were going to get suffocated in that game because the Niners never found answers for the Eagles' pass rush. 4 players over 10 sacks this season. I don't know, Al. Got a lot to talk about. In a little bit to talk about, it's just one game, but you got Patrick Mahomes, who generally has used his feet to create time, and he's got the most creative quarterback out there, him and Rodgers, I would say. But you got 4 guys with 10 sacks. I've never seen anything like it. It's like they just keep coming.
Yeah, I mean, you're a game watcher, you follow all the players and all that stuff. I'm a technical and situational handicapper. I couldn't care less about the players, to be honest with you. Everyone does it a different way. When I look at this matchup, and I think this is a really hard matchup. It may be the hardest from I actually have my NFL total of the year on the total, but from this further side, this may be the hardest matchup I've seen in the Super Bowl in 20 years. Maybe longer. I mean, I think you can easily make an argument for both teams. I'm going to try to make an argument for Philadelphia, but I could easily make an argument for Kansas City. That's how close I think this matchup is. And you mentioned how well Philadelphia has been playing. So for me as a technical handicapper, I look at Philadelphia's momentum coming into this game, and they've covered the spread in their 2 games against San Francisco and the Giants by 21 and 23 points. And in Super Bowls, when you get NFL teams that covered the spread in their 2 previous games in the aggregate by 20 or more points, those teams have gone 14-3 ATS in Super Bowls against opponents that didn't, cover the spread by that many points in their 2 games. And Kansas City did. And Kansas City, they covered by 1 point against Cincinnati, and they failed to cover by 2.5 actually against Jacksonville. So Kansas City has no momentum, coming into this game, really. They won their games, but, didn't really cover the spread. So I think Philadelphia has the edge because of that. I also like the fact, we had talked earlier, I had favored San Francisco in that game, because San Francisco is the better defense. Didn't work out that way, obviously, but Philadelphia has a better defense than Kansas City. And teams with better defense in Super Bowls, have an edge. Philadelphia's allowed 2.68 points per game less than KC. And the team with the better defense, going back to 1980, when they're not favored by 3 or more points, they've gotten 10-4 ATS. So, I like the Eagles in this game, but I'm curious to hear what you guys have to think, because I think it's, pretty, almost too close to call.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I feel the same way. I'm interested to hear what Mitch got to say in a minute too, but it's a really good game for me. I'm excited for it. But me personally, I could make the argument for the Eagles, but I think when it's said and done, the Chiefs pull this one out. I think the experience more than anything is just going to be such a huge factor for the Kansas City Chiefs. They just have some guys that's been in these situations. The Eagles, they have a few, but not really. Their main guys, none of them have been in this moment. You know, all the main people for the Kansas City Chiefs have Andy Reid, you know, the revenge factor against his old team. We know Andy Reid, he's been in these Super Bowl situations. Andy Reid, Big Red, man, what he's done with this Chiefs team since he's got there, he's in that conversation now for like top 2, top 1 coach in the league. And I think he deserves some credit. Nick Sirianni, I have my doubts about him still moving forward for the duration for the Philadelphia Eagles. With this being his first Super Bowl, such a big game, this Kansas City Chiefs team is much, much better than New York Giants. And, you know, I know we could play the what-if game with the San Fran game, but, you know, Johnson played most of that game, not Purdy. And, you know, Purdy was playing good football before he got hurt, man, and he's going to be out for some time. So he was significantly hurt even when he tried to play in that game. So I'm going Chiefs in this one. I think Mahomes is experienced. I think Mahomes enters that top 3 quarterback ever airspace with this win. I mean, Mahomes, he's been in the AFC Championship game every year. He's been a starter, and he's in the Super Bowl again. He didn't make it last year. I think that stung. I'm taking the Chiefs in this one. It's going to be a hell of a game. Like Big Al said, it's a tight one. But I'm going Chiefs in this one. I think the experience just proves tough here.
I don't know. I think this is going to be it's the defense that wins championships, and you know, the Eagles just have the better defense here. And you know, I think that's, to me, is the problem here. The Chiefs are number 8 against the run, and you know, that's pretty solid. The Eagles just 16th against the run, and while we think Mahomes, generally these teams with the big pass rush and the big guys up thing, it's all, you just run it up the middle. Every single play is basically what you have to do. But the Chiefs, they don't really have like that bruiser back that can do that. You know, do they have it? Is Clyde Edwards-Helaire going to be enough there to do that, to run it, you know, 6-7, you know, yards a clip, you know, between the tackles? Obviously, they have, you know, a better offensive line than the last time we saw them in the Super Bowl against the Bucs. You know, they got shredded, man. They got crushed in that game. Yeah. Them and me both. But I think that nothing fun about that game for me. And, you know, Mahomes was kind of injured in that game too. I don't know. I just think that this one's going to be a tough one. You know, I just think that the Eagles defense is just better. And I think that's where it's going to be done. And for the Chiefs, they got to figure out a way to run between the tackles. And Pacheco is a nice back. McKinnon's not bad. Helaire going to be active for this one. Hardman inactive for this game.
Yeah, Hardman, that's a huge blow.
You know, well, he's like his security
speed guy. Yeah,
right. He's also like, you know, he's kind of like, he's not like as fast as Tyreek Hill or anything, but he kind of has been. He's Mahomes' guy. It's like how Brady always has his guy as Julian Edelman. He had Wes Welker and that. Hardman is almost like that guy for him. He doesn't catch nearly as many passes as those guys, but he's kind of like that guy that, you know, practices really hard, and, you know, and Mahomes always is recognized as that. You know, he's always like, you know, I wanted to get McCall a touchdown. He works so hard, you know, and I don't know. I just think this is going to be a good one. I could see the Eagles running the football on the Chiefs. I'm not so sure if I see, you know.
It's a tough one. I know. I'm going Chiefs though. I think Mahomes is that guy. I think.
Do you think he's 100%?
I think he's about 85.
Well, do you think Hilaire's 100%? I mean, do we even know if he's going to play?
Yeah, he's active.
He's active, but that's not what I'm asking. You can be active and not play.
I think Pacheco is seasoned enough to where he's still going to get the brunt of the carries, and he can be just fine in that spot. And I like the switch up pace with McKinnon as well. It's going to be a hell of a game. The Eagles, like you said, they can run the football, man, effectively. And Hurts on those give and goes or on the read options and the option plays, man. Those are tough. They're hard to defend. It's going to be a good one.
Well, the top rated prop, according to our betting tools, is Edwards-Helaire to score a touchdown, pays plus 540.
It's not bad. First game back, Super Bowl. Not bad.
Yeah, and it's like he kind of has one of those guys that gets the ball a couple of different ways. It's not first touchdown, but just to score an
anytime touchdown, 560 plus 560.
Yep,
I kind of like that a lot.
Yeah, I kind of like that myself. Makes sense.
Let me see if I can think of any other props while we're here, since we just got one game this week. I think Kelsey gets in there. I like Kelsey's reception prop. His receptions prop I seen is hitting at a pretty nice rate. We know he's going to get the brunt of the balls thrown to him. They tried to hit us with the questionable the last game with Kelsey right before game time, but he played and he balled out per usual.
I would probably take a flyer on the will the game go to overtime at 10-1 odds. Yes.
How about the national anthem? I like the under.
I never take the under.
I like the over. Yeah, I was going to say I like the over almost every year.
The national anthem singers, they want to go over the total. They drag it out.
Yeah, but the country singers, I think 7 out of 8 country singers have all gone under the total.
Oh, now you're doing technical handicapping like me, bitch.
It's not the first country singer to sing the anthem,
Yeah.
It's like 7 of 8 to the under. That includes Faith Hill.
Wow.
What about the Gatorade prop? What color are we going?
Oh, geez.
Orange, green, blue.
I had inside information on that. I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 years ago. A buddy of mine was on the field and he was able to see the colors of the Gatorade, and we made so much money.
Oh, that's cool.
That was fucked up.
It seems to be red. It seems that red and blue are the popular ones these days.
Yeah.
I'm going green. That's where I'm going. So if y'all want to put some
green's my favorite. That's my favorite flavor.
That's my favorite too.
But I don't think it's,
So I'm going green. I think green goes through. Heads or tails? That's another common one.
I'm not betting on that.
Tails,
but I think this. I think this for me, just because the game is so close to call, I wouldn't mind having a 10-1 shot on overtime.
Yeah,
I think that's really probably not a bad play there, except that the Eagles love to go for 2. So I could see if it came down to
you never know how that's going to work out anyway. I mean, that might going for 2 might end up
working in our favor,
putting the game into overtime, down the road. You just never know.
For sure.
Well, be riding it through. Now the next big thing after this will be March Madness. Got to remember that March Madness isn't just the NCAA tournament, and I'm not talking about the other tournaments. I'm talking about the conference tournament week, which is really the big one for me. I love that week. Of course, we all love the NCAA tournament too. I mean, kidding, but I'm excited about it, and Big Al lighting it up in college hoops. But the nice thing is he goes 4-1, and to make the rest of us feel better, the one he loses by 50. So.
Which one was? Oh, was that
Louisville?
Louisville. Oh yeah. What are you gonna do?
You know what? I'm gonna lose one. I might as well make it. I might as well really lose. It's like I had Pitt in the game, and I'm like, I'm almost rooting for you to keep the streak going.
Oh,
I know, but I am. And it's like, this is what I do. And it's like, they throw up a shot by 35-foot 3-pointer. Like, I'm like, you know what? They're not gonna win. It's not gonna happen.
When you invest in teams like Louisville, there's always the risk that you're gonna lose by 30 or 40.
They don't just give that 3-20 record to everybody.
No, but I had a team the other day. I had Wisconsin Green Bay as my Horizon League game of the month. They were a 16-point dog. They were 2-22. They won outright.
I saw it, and believe me, I got all the emails.
Before the game or after the game?
After.
Usually before. How the F can you give me this, dog shit team?
Yeah, that was. I mean, I've never seen a run like this, like the one that you're on. So, I mean, I've been doing this a long time, but I've never seen.
28-4. It's a good run.
Well, I've never seen a one day You know, of the 21 20 was it 21 and 1?
17-1 on Saturday.
And then
2 pushes, and people could have gone 19-1. You know, if they
and then you hit your
those.
next 3 on top of that, which is crazy.
And I've definitely appreciated your wisdom on this show all season, man. I definitely became smarter, better.
Yeah, I'm
Mitch
more.
Too.
I'm
I
actually
appreciate everyone, man. It's like
For sure, man.
Yeah, it's like I love talking over the games. It's like, to me, it's like I enjoy that. That's why I got involved in this in the first place, is loving talking the games, arguing the points. I mean, it took us 40 minutes to get on the air because we're arguing LeBron James and Michael Jordan, which turns into a Daryl Dawkins dunk discussion. You know, it's like
just so people understand, Mitch and I were right. Jay was wrong.
You don't see Michael Jordan wearing LeBron James jersey. Just say that. LeBron picked his number. He was 20. He used to be 23. Now he's 6, right? Which is 2 times 3. It's representative of Michael Jordan's 6 championships. That's 6.
or maybe
they're gonna always find a way.
Wasn't Julius Erving 6 also?
Yeah.
Yep.
Avery Johnson was 6.
Yep.
Remember when Julius Erving grabbed Larry Bird by the shirt and punching him? That was like classic. Like almost every bar in Boston has a picture of that.
You know what's funny? You never hear Julius Erving ever mentioned top 10, top 15. It's
because
like people
he played with the Nets, because he played in the ABA for 2
long. No, I know. But it's like people have, I mean, that talk about a great player that people have completely forgotten about.
I don't think they've forgotten about him. I just don't think that he played in the NBA long enough. I think, by the time he got to the NBA, it was the tail end of his career. And when he finally got to the championship, he had Moses.
Yeah.
So it was like, it was he got his ring, he got all those things, but we never got to see the best of him, when he was with the Nets in the ABA, winning the slam dunk contest with David Thompson. And,
yeah,
I mean, very few of the players that played in the ABA did we get to see their best. I mean, Gervin in the NBA was good, but he was probably better in the ABA.
No, he was better in the NBA. James Silas was the guy who was better in the ABA that we never got to see because he got injured. He injured his knee. But Gervin,
who was the guy in the Kings? The Kings had like a really good guy in the ABA. Oh man, Nate Archibald. He then played on the Celtics.
The Kings weren't in the ABA.
Oh, they weren't ABA. They were so they were just the Kings. But anyways, when Archibald went to the Celtics, that's when we finally got to see him. He was good. It was pre-cable. So Jay doesn't even understand the pre-cable days. You only got to see one team, or they had the NBA game of the week.
Yeah.
CBS.
They had a tape.
Which kind of plays into the myths of some of these players. I think
I grew up in Pittsburgh. We never had an NBA team, and they put the NBA game of the week on in Pittsburgh at 11:30 p.m. at night.
I grew up in Miami. We had no baseball team, we had no NBA team, and no hockey team. We had nothing. We just had the Dolphins. High school football was gigantic.
Yep. Yes, sir.
That's Texas too, right? That's all they had. They didn't have all those teams. They might have the Spurs.
The Spurs and the Rockets.
The Rockets. Oh yeah, the Rockets. That's
Mavericks didn't enter the league till what, 84?
Yeah, somewhere around there.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for joining us. It's been a great season. We will see you guys the Wednesday following Labor Day next year, and for our next NFL kickoff, we're probably going to have not a different format, but we're going to at least have a different look, director, producer, all that kind of other stuff. We got all this stuff coming. So
we're going pro.
We're going pro with our shows. We got a whole production company or something. I don't know. I got business partners now, so the Mitch show is over. I had a good run. Anyways, thanks everyone for joining us. Let's win some money this Sunday. We'll see you on Sunday afternoon. Probably Sunday evening probably 7:30, 8 o'clock, 8 p.m. halftime. Jay, myself, and Rihanna will all be here.